Mass extermination of an entire race seems impossible in today's society, but we cannot deny the fact that this very thing happened less than a century ago. The Holocaust, while being one of the most devastating events in human history, took the lives of millions. While hard to talk about today, there are things that we can take from the Holocaust. We learned that through the hatred of discrimination, you can wipe out an entire race without even thinking. By the end of the Holocaust, over a third of the Jewish population in Europe had been exterminated. We also learned that while millions did die, there were some survivors that lived on to tell their stories. We can also take away from the Holocaust that nations came together and made beautiful things happen. Whenever nations came in and intervened and liberated the concentration camps of the Holocaust, millions of future lives were saved. Today, we're going to be discussing the concentration camps of the Holocaust. We're going to first learn a little bit more of what the Holocaust was, then we'll discuss the concentration complex Auschwitz-Birkenau, and then finally we're going to discuss the concentration camps of Treblinka. The Nazi Party that was established in Germany believed that Germans were of the most superior race. They wanted to create this Aryan race of people, and anyone not fitting their standards had to be exterminated. As you can see in this picture, one of the most typical images of the Nazi Party. You can see their swastika images in the background, and they're all saluting their commander, Adolf Hitler. From her work published in Memory in a Golden Age, Aceman states in 2010 that these Nazi ideals were not only expressed in Germany, but they were also supported and believed through other countries of Europe. This main reason being is because if the Nazi Party really did want to exterminate different races of individuals, they had to stretch out their boundaries and relate to all other nations. When all was said and done, the Holocaust took the lives of over 11 million individuals. Some were killed through the use of machine guns and through the use of the gas chambers, but another reason that people died was due to malnutrition and the unsanitary living conditions that the prisoners faced. Those who did survive also faced the reality that they were all separated from their families. So now that you know a little bit more about what the Holocaust was, let's talk about the concentration camps of Auschwitz-Birkenau. Auschwitz-Birkenau held the highest number of deaths during the Holocaust. In his 1979 book, released by the CIA, Brugiani relates that Auschwitz, when it was built, was designed to be a military camp. In the picture, you can see the entrance to Auschwitz. The translation of the sign above translates in English to "labor sets you free." Birkenau, the second camp to be built, was the center of Sonderbehandlung, which translated at the time to code for extermination. So these camps were built to be big and to take lives. When Auschwitz I was built, it was the first for many revolutionary things that occurred throughout the Holocaust. The Auschwitz complex was the first to experiment with Zyklon B gas. They were also the first concentration complex to use gas chambers and crematoriums. Later, Auschwitz II was built, also known as Birkenau, and it was designed to hold over 200,000 individuals. Within this massive complex, they also had different chambers designed so that they could separate individuals and really try to make them feel secluded. They had different chambers for the gypsies, some for women and children, and there were also some for the homosexuals. Now that you know a little bit more information on what Auschwitz-Birkenau was, let's go into detail of Treblinka, the Treblinka concentration camps. While not as commonly known as Auschwitz-Birkenau, Treblinka had the second highest death rate reported after the Holocaust. Arnulf Neumayer writes in 1998 through his groundbreaking book, Dissecting the Holocaust, that the lot that Treblinka was to sit on was 20 square miles wide. Upon its closing in 1943, the Jewish World Congress reported that Treblinka was that of a slaughterhouse. In addition to being very well known for the number of deaths that occurred at Treblinka, it was also well known for the different methods of execution that went on. One of the ways that they killed individuals was they put the exhaust gases from their engines in the different machines that they drove, therefore suffocating and killing the prisoners in their sleep. Another method that was used was to kill the prisoners before they even arrived at the concentration camp. They would coat the trains with quicklime, and upon arrival, the train had to be unloaded with the casualties. Another cruel way that they killed these individuals was they lined them all up in front of a mass grave and shot them each individually, one by one, into the mass graves. While hard to talk about and very sad for many people, we have to talk about this because it was a real thing that happened. This wasn't a movie that we're talking about. These were real lives that were taken by real people. Finally, in 1943, this madness came to an end when Treblinka closed. The officers and other members that worked at Treblinka tried their best to erase all of the evidence that the camp ever existed. In this image, you can see one of the memorials that was made of the ashes that were burnt down at Treblinka. The Holocaust was a truly devastating event in history that still strikes home for a lot of individuals. Today, we discussed the concentration camps of the Holocaust. We talked a little bit about what the Holocaust was itself, and then we went in depth of the concentration camps at Auschwitz-Birkenau and also Treblinka. What you should take away from the Holocaust is to not be sad and to mourn over the lives lost, but you should also learn from the Holocaust that through the advanced, if we take the step in the right direction to accept more and more individuals, an event like the Holocaust could never happen again.